Hello there everybody and welcome back to Crochet Witch Tarot. And today we are back into the deck collection videos. My favorite. And so if you missed my last video, I will try and remember to link it up above. If not, there will be a whole playlist dedicated to this. But in the first video, we went through my winter feeling tarot decks. Just my arbitrary way of dividing my decks up. It doesn't necessarily mean like I only use these decks in the winter. Just wanted a fun way to split them up. So this is how we're doing it. Anyhow, last video we did tarot, so now we are moving on to the winter oracle decks. Very excited for the occasion. We have new nails. Aren't they fun? This will be Christmas Eve, I think, when I post this. So these are my holiday, my Yule nails. Very excited about them. Anyway, I think we should just get right into the first deck, why don't we? And of course, we have to start with the classic, the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. One of my absolute favorites. This was the first of the Seasons of the Witch decks I had. The Samhain came out first, but I just didn't get that one. But I love the winter time. It's my favorite season of the whole year. And so this time last year? Yes, when we were first getting into end of November, December, I really wanted an oracle that felt super wintry. And that I think it was around the same time that this one came out. So I decided to give it a try, and I am so glad I did. I used it all winter long, beyond the Yule season. But I also pull it out really just any time during the year because it's such a favorite. I do the same with the Samhain deck as well. But I just really, really love the style of artwork, the snowy scenes we get. I love the themes this covers. The Seasons of the Witch decks are just really fantastic. I can't say enough good things. So that is Seasons of the Witch Yule. And as always, we are going in no particular order. Just whatever I grab next, really. And that will be a newer one in my collection, the Endless Oracle. This is the same artist who puts out the Inkwitch Tarot. And I backed this on Kickstarter, and it came in maybe a month ago now. And I've been really, really loving this one. This one fits together to create a whole panoramic scene, which I think is really, really cool. But I just love the cottage in the woods. It's so interesting because even though, you can do this if you wanted to, but I would assume that every time you break this deck out, you're not putting it into that panoramic scene. But I think it does add a really cool energy to it, that there is this cohesiveness, and it just feels like there's this story happening throughout the whole deck. And we're meeting different aspects and characters of this one big story, which I really enjoy. But I've loved the readings I've done with this so far. It's really a cool deck. I've used it already for some moon readings as well, and it was really awesome. I love this deck. And I love the blue tone of it. I think it's so pretty. Look at that cat card. I just love this artwork. I think it's fantastic. The fairy ring. Come on. That's so good. Alrighty. That is the Endless Oracle. And it does come with a really great guidebook as well. So if you're seeing these cards and thinking like, oh, I wouldn't make that much sense of that, the guidebook is really awesome. Where did I just put that box? There it is. Okay. Alright, moving right along. Next up we have the Cottage Witch Oracle, which is the deck I created this year. Very cool, very weird. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's feels odd. It feels odd speaking any sort of words on something I made myself, but you'd hope I really like it, right? Which I do. This one pulls on my own personal practice and the associations I've made just through expanding my own knowledge of how I see magic and witchcraft and just the world in general. So I had a lot of fun making this deck because, of course, you know, I mean, like I just said, it was all symbols that really made sense to me and symbols I encounter, if not throughout the whole, you know, throughout the year at some point on a daily basis. So I really like using this one. And that is the Cottage Witch Oracle. Alright, moving right along, we've got a tried and true favorite, the Coastal Curiosities Oracle. This one is just, this is actually the second edition of this deck. I do have the first as well, which is where the love affair started, but I can't get enough of this deck. It's out pretty much every month, and if I don't include it in my monthly roundup of decks, it's out anyway, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I just might as well keep it out. This is one of those decks that I just feel like I can use for any kind of reading. I've gotten to know them so well. I love the keywords, and this second edition comes with a guidebook that explains kind of what's happening with these images in the collage. And there's more cards like this one, which I love. But I just love this vintage art style, the feel to it. I just think it's so interesting, and I don't know, I just love it. I know the creator is working on a tarot deck. I just can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be so cool. I can't say enough good things about this one. So, that is the Coastal Curiosities Oracle, which this second edition is kind of my main working version right now, and I just keep the first one pretty much just on display. Alrighty, next we've got the Hare Wisdom Oracle, and I have the pocket size of this one. This is such a fun deck. Look at those backs first of all. But I really like, it's a like a poker size deck, which I really enjoy. I don't have many oracles that are this smaller size. Let's zoom in a little bit. Really take in these fun little cards. But this is another deck that I just feel like really tells a story, and it's very like world building almost. I do think it is kind of based around, what's the word I'm thinking of? Chapter books written by the creators. I think they are juvenile fiction, I believe. What, there is like a technical, what's the like the term for that that's in most bookstores? I'm saying juvenile fiction because that's like the library cataloging term, but middle grade middle grade novels. And so it's really cool because it's kind of like these oracle decks build off of that. So I feel like if you read the books, it's super fun to have these cards, but you don't need to in order to use them by any means because the guidebook is really good. But I love this artwork. It's the same creators as Secrets of Wanwood, which is one that I love, but I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get along with it, so I opted to get this smaller size deck first to really kind of try out how I would feel about using the artwork as an oracle. And I love it. It's such a great one. It's so much fun. It just feels cozy and magical. So, that is the Hare Wisdom Oracle. Next up, we've got the Pear Tree Court Oracle. I think we're going to have to bring this camera back out now. This is created by the lovely Danny Mystic. Yes, okay, let's bring, ooh, that's in. Perfect. And this is such a favorite as well. I think these keywords are just genius. I love the art style. This is a deck that really pairs so well with what I've kind of been calling those high art museum style decks, which I don't have many of because typically I don't get along super well with those, I have discovered, but there are a few that I really, really love, and my usual Oracle style doesn't pair that well with it. This one really does though, and it pairs well with really all of my tarot decks, I would say. And I really, really like just how straightforward but expansive these keywords are. I just think this deck is so well done and just so cool. So that is the Pear Tree Court Oracle. Alright, another major favorite coming up. That is the Woodland Wardens Oracle. I use this one all the time. I have trimmed mine. I trimmed it down to the middle picture, so I basically just took all the borders off. And I love the little small size it is now, but I just think this deck is genius. We get an animal and a plant, and the guidebook really ties the energies together so amazingly well. The first set of cards follows the Tarot Major Arcana seamlessly. The art is gorgeous. I love this one. It also just pairs well with so many of my decks, if not probably all of them. I love this one, and it's all animals that feel important to me and that I can really relate to, which I think is so cool. Oh, I love this one. I could look at that raccoon. There's also a possum in here, which, I mean, come on. That's amazing. Am I gonna make us go till we get it? Maybe. Love the skunk too. Spider, horse. Oh, these cards are so good. No, let's just find the possum. I love this cat card too. There he is! I love that possum. And with the peonies. As he should be. So, that is the Woodland Warden Oracle. That's a bit of a tongue twister, huh? But, yes, love that one. Alrighty. This is the Folktails Oracle. Another gorgeous deck. I just can't get over the artwork on this one. It's so beautiful. It probably is up there with like most beautiful decks I own. It's so good. I really enjoy the guidebook. My only gripe is that it's a bit hard to find the card you're looking for because it's broken up into different categories really. But they're not alphabetical in any which way, so you have to search around a little bit to find the entry. But I do find that the keywords on this are typically intuitive enough for me where I don't always need to look at the guidebook. I feel like I tend to look at the guidebook because I just like to. I mean, not with like any deck. I just enjoy that process, but all that to say, I feel like a lot of these I wouldn't have to if I did not want to. And it's just, oh, it's so pretty. I did corner round my deck, however, because it does come with some sharp edges. It's a hand-cut deck, so, you know, be mindful of that, I guess. But I just used a corner rounder on mine, and it's perfect. So that is the Folktails Oracle. Oh, we are zooming right along. Alrighty. Next up, we've got the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck. Now this is one I'm not sure about. I don't know. Part of this process, as I mentioned in the last video of doing this collection video, is most likely putting some decks in a kind of maybe bin. I got that idea from Lisa Papez. She is kind of creating a maybe bin from this process as well, and I just loved that idea because I know there are decks that I have that I'm just not really connecting with, and this might be one of them. I love this artwork. I really do. I love these. I mean, they really are these big, gentle creatures. Ooh. Okay. We are back. We momentarily lost some power. It just flickered, though. We are kind of in the middle of a little bit of a windstorm, I think you would call it. We didn't have power at all today. Till like maybe 5 or so, from before we woke up till 5. Yeah, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if it does, that's what it is. We're back. Anyway, I think it's one of those, like, I love some of these cards, but then there's others that I don't know. I feel like this doesn't really get into the depth that I wanted it to. So, I should also say that I got this oracle. There's another oracle that uses the same artwork, the Into the Lonely Woods oracle. And I opted for this one versus that one because I wasn't sure if I would really want a deck that seemed pretty focused on just the process and idea of grief. But having this one now, I really do think that one would more hit the spaces that I was looking for this deck to hit. So I think this one's gonna go in the maybe bin. As endearing as these creatures are, I think if I did end up rehoming this deck, I would bring in the Into the Lonely Woods, because there are something about these monster-like creatures that I just really feel drawn to. But anyway, we're gonna put that to the side. Next we've got the Guidance of the Goddess Oracle, I think it's called. Yes, Guidance of the Goddess. This deck is so pretty. It's one of those where it just feels so high quality. So this is a deck of, I think, 50 different goddesses from all different cultures, which I think is really cool. And I love that for each card we get the goddess and a keyword. So it's just such a usable deck. I really, really love reading this one because I feel like I'm learning a little bit about some deities I have not countered Oh my gosh. I need to slow my roll speaking. I feel like I encounter deities I wouldn't have maybe otherwise because they are not from, a culture I am a part of. And so it lets me learn a little bit about that, but giving that keyword just makes it so usable in the way I read. The other thing I love about this deck is that the guidebook has kind of 2 different paragraphs for each of these goddesses. And the first one gives a short synopsis of the, I guess you could say, kind of the main tale of each goddess. And then the second paragraph goes into that keyword and how the goddess connects to that keyword. I just think it's so well done, and I also really, really love this artwork. And having this plain black background makes it pair so well with so many different things, and I really, really, I love this oracle. It's so good. So that is the Guidance of the Goddess Oracle. Deep breath. Let's slow down our talking. gosh, I feel like that power outage made me nervous. Okay, oh, this one was to the side. I almost could have missed this one. That would have been a tragedy. This one is very new to me. It is the Compendium of Witches Oracle that just came out mass market, and that I am very excited about. I don't know this deck super well yet, but I think it's so cool. This might be my favorite card. I think it's just, I just love it. And so in this deck, we get these witches, basically. So these figures, but then we also get, I believe it's kind of like companions, or I don't know, we get these witch-related objects or animals. I'm very much not explaining it well, but I'm sure you can see for yourself that that's what's happening. And I just really, really have been enjoying this one. I love the artwork. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about having these kind of two different types of cards, but ultimately, how I use Oracle, mixing them all together really, really works out for me. I just think it's so cool. I also like that the guidebook gives us a little bit of the story of who this person is. So these are all based on real women throughout history. I think that's so neat. I'm pretty sure it's all real women, if not real, you know, all figures throughout history in any sense of the term you want to say. I don't know if maybe some of them are like folkloric at all, but from what I have read so far, it's all like people who have existed. It's just so pretty, isn't it? I'm really excited about this one. So that is the Compendium of Witches Oracle. Alright, this next one is the Feathered Wisdoms Oracle. Now, I had never really seen anything of this deck, and it just kind of randomly popped up on my Amazon one day, and I love birds. I really do. I love working with bird energy, so I was like, okay, I gotta give this a try. And it is put out by Ted Andrews, who I really enjoy his work, generally. So I wanted to give it a try, but I don't know. I think it's just that I don't totally connect to all of the associations with each of these birds. And some of the images are just kind of, like, you can see this one, it's like weirdly stretched out. I think the art on the card is just not super well done. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if this is the bird oracle for me. If I just kind of want to make my own bird cards or something. I don't know. I've just not really felt drawn to use this even a little bit. It's just not how I really connect to these birds. So I think, unfortunately, this one's going to have to go into the maybe pile as well. But that is the Feathered Wisdoms Oracle that I did make this super cute bag for, though. Isn't that so cute? We shall see. Okay. Next up, we've got the Death Duel Oracle. I have been so obsessed with this one lately. It's so good. Oh, we gotta zoom out. These are some larger cards, but they are thinner, but in a really nice way. I don't totally know how to explain it, but they're not unwieldy for that reason. But these cards are just, they're genius. I don't really know what else to say, but it's just so good. It's spot on every single time. This is a really wonderful, more kind of like shadow work deck for me. I just find every time I pull a card, it hits the nail on the head. It tells me exactly what I needed to hear, what I need to do sometimes, and it really does not hold back. And it covers themes that I don't feel like any other deck I have does. and in ways that none of my other decks do, because it gives you some ritual suggestions, maybe spell suggestions, question mark? Not really sure about that one, but it's really, really cool, and I don't know, it's just one that I know I'm gonna love for a really long time because I've just been using it so nonstop since I've gotten it, and it just, again, it's like nothing I've encountered. The guidebook is so special, and it's funny because each of these really maybe has like 2 sentences or so, but it's one of those where you read it and you're like, okay, do we have to be that loud? Really? It's so good. I love this one. That is the Death Doula Oracle. My feet are falling asleep the way I'm sitting. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to see the camera at the same time to make sure I'm putting the cards where I should be, but man, is it making my feet fall asleep. Okay, next we've got the Weaver's Oracle, which is just naked sitting out, no bag or container, because I leave this one, and actually the next one I'm going to show, they just stay on my altar right now, especially in this winter season where I'm really working with that crone energy. But this is such a special deck. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's one where I really tend to sit with these energies I pull for quite a bit. So I don't really have any certain time span. It's just whenever I'm feeling the need to change it out, but it tends to happen every few weeks or so. But I'll pull one and leave it on my altar as just an energy to work with and keep in mind. Because it's one of those where you read through the guidebook and you kind of have to really think about the story you're being told to get the message. And sometimes I'll pull a card and right away I'm like, oh, I know exactly what this is trying to tell me. And sometimes I really need to sit with it, and it comes around to itself. But I really, really enjoy this one. That is the Weaver's Oracle. And the next one, which I also just leave on my altar right now, is the Wisdom of the Cailleach Oracle. Another beautiful one. This artwork is so amazing. And the whole deck just focuses on the Cailleach. I'm definitely not saying that right. My apologies. Which I really, really enjoy because she is an energy I like to work with this time of year. So I really appreciate that. I work with this deck all year long, especially when I'm wanting that crone energy. But of course, you know, it's kind of like her time of year right now, you know? I love this card. But this one is another one that really works well for me as kind of like an altar card to work with that energy. It really plays off of the Weaver's Oracle really well, so I like pulling a card from each and kind of letting them sit for a bit. But yeah, I love that one. Wisdom of the Cailleach. Next up is an oracle my friend Rachel recently gave me to try, and that is the Mother Mary Oracle, which I am very excited to have because I have been working with the kind of energy of Mary or the Madonna for a bit now. And the deck I really like to use for that is the Death Duel Oracle. Really connects to her really well for me. But I've been really enjoying having a deck that directly kind of is meant to connect to that energy. I've been having a lot of fun working with this deck as well. And so, kind of in that same altar space, I've got the Weaver's Oracle, Wisdom of the Cailleach, and now there's also a Mary card that shows up on there. But I really love how a lot of Fairchild sees these different aspects of Mary or the Madonna. I tend to find that sometimes I tend to not read through the whole guidebook message, just kind of depends. Because sometimes with the way Alana Fairchild writes, I don't always, it tends to lose me sometimes, but this first paragraph we get, I believe is meant to be direct words from this energy. And this first paragraph is just, it's where it's at for me. I love it. But yeah, this deck is beautiful. I've really, really been enjoying that. So that is the Mother Mary Oracle. Okay. Next we've got, we've got 3 more. We are zooming along. Next we've got the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. This is the Hay House Mass Market Edition. And I like this one. I don't know that this one is ultimately meant to stay with me, though. I don't fully know why. I just seem to kind of hit this wall when it comes to MJ Cullinane's decks, which makes me so sad because I think her artwork is so beautiful and just really cool. And I love looking at it. But I think there is this aspect of it where at first I didn't think it, I noticed it with the like urban aspect of the Urban Crow Oracle. But I think when I'm using it, I do really feel that city setting. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I feel like I can feel that coming through, and it's just not something that is applicable to me or that I relate to, if that makes any sense. We are very much out, I don't even know what you would call where we live. We like to say we're a little bit in the boonies. Farm country. So it's just not like an area I relate to. But I think the keywords are so genius in this deck. It's truly just, and I wish I knew how to explain it, but I feel like I can't even put it into words for myself. It's just this feeling of that city life energy that really comes through for me that I really just don't relate to. So I think this one, unfortunately, is going to go in the maybe bin. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I am very much known to pull things out of the maybe bin, and then I love them. Sometimes they just need to hang out in there and simmer for a little, which I could see happening with this one, but I do think this one's going to go in the maybe bin, just because I've had some trouble connecting with it. So that's the Urban Crow Oracle. Next we've got the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I love this one. I love the dark colors of it. It almost feels like we're being brought to this inner world of plants almost, like especially something like this, to me feels like we're looking at, I don't know, even like the cells within a plant, really this like internal makeup of plant life almost. That's just, I don't know why that's how I see it, but that just is. I really, really love this deck though. I think the keywords are fantastic. It's such a usable deck for me. Like, look at Obstacle with just the big rock there. So cool. I don't know, I just think it's a fabulous Oracle deck. One I really love to use. It has that darker feel to it, which I really enjoy. Look at that card. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, this one tends to come out a lot too. So, that is the Illuminated Earth Oracle. And I love this one. Now we are up to the last deck, actually. I feel like I really chugged through those, huh? Anyway, last but not least, we've got... Is this last? Yes, yeah. We've got the Lantern Oracle. Which is... It is a really beautiful deck. But... This one maybe going into the maybe pile as well. I don't know. I think I really enjoyed working with this deck for a time, but ever since getting the Death Doula Oracle, I just feel like it has totally taken its place. It's almost like the Death Doula covers all of the things that I personally really want to be covered. And I don't know, there's some ways that I feel like this deck just doesn't totally work for me. I think it's so fantastic, but I don't know. Looking through it now, it's like it's beautiful, but I don't really feel anything towards it, which I feel like this is such a strong kind of deck that I feel like I would want to be feeling kind of that connection to it. So I think this one is going to go into the maybe pile, but it's definitely one that I want to play around a little bit more with and just take another look at. But I kind of think that the Death Doula Oracle has taken its place a little bit. So that is the Lantern Oracle. And our last Winter Oracle deck. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I've been talking a little bit fast and all over the place, so apologies for that. But I will see you again soon. We will be going into spring next. Very exciting. And I hope you all are having a lovely holiday season. And I will see you again very soon.